G'day, it's Brak here, and welcome to the third video in the Crusade campaign. Now, in this one, I'll be talking about the post-game admin stuff, which happened after that great game that I won, and right at the end, a little bit of pre-game stuff, and talking about the third game. And it's coming up pretty soon. Oh, quick note, I do realise that my previous vlogs were a little bit long-winded and not good quality, so I've been working on that, so please bear with me. I think this one is a lot better. You should be pleasantly surprised. Well, game 2 was a tough one. I won, but barely. It was a brutal game. And I only had 2 models standing. That's Brak and good old deathskulls. As the winner of this little match, I got 2 requisition points instead of 1. Also, because I got my agenda by killing the war boss, I get 3 experience points for killing the Ultramarine Primaris captain. And I'll talk a bit about that later. So, once we have determined the victor, we then update the Crusade cards. Now, you're supposed to go in the order of 1, take out action tests, and then update experience points, but for expedience and a shorter viewing time, so I'm going to do this all in one go. So let's start with the battle tally. So we've now played 2 games and won 2. Yay! Also, in the pre-game I spent 2 requisition points and I gained 2 requisition points for winning the game, so no real change there. Let's now look at the Crusade cards, and we're going to start with Brak because he's the boss. Because he got the agenda, which was killing the war boss, he gains 3 experience points plus 1 for just turning up, and he also managed to kill 3 things: the Redemptor, the Captain, and the Incessors. Now bringing his total kill tally up to 5 units. And because of that, he now gets an extra experience point on top of the others, which brings his grand total to 12 experience points. Now let's look at Zagrat's boys, the shooter boys. Unlike last game, they didn't survive. And, well, here's a little bit of an aside. All the units which died or lost in this game, they did not fail any of the takeout action tests. So I don't have to worry about battle scars and this time, which is good. Now the boys get an extra experience point for their troubles, which gives them a total of 2. I'll talk about both trucks at once since they both experienced the same fate. The only thing to take note here is that they both gained 2 experience points and they both died. So that's 2 things to note, I suppose. Unfortunately, poor old Gear Guts and his maulers didn't have a good time this game because they had a big fat target on them. So all they got for their trouble is 1 experience point, which gives them a total experience points of 5. Snitrat's pirates, they did a bit more this time. They decided not to hide, and they went out and they attacked things, but they died. But regardless of that, they get an experience point. So that makes 2 experience points. Now, for the 2 new units to the war, let's start with Doc Grod. He did his job. He protected Brak a little, but other than that, not much else. He gets 1 experience point for turning up. Amusingly, the Defcopter, Defcon Krogskull, was the only other orc unit to survive, and he also gets 1 experience for his troubles and his hard work. And that is that for the post-game shenanigans. Now for the pre-game. Now the 3rd game was against Necrons, a Necron list with a lot of new units. As part of the campaign house rules, we're allowed to add 1 extra unit, so I decided to bring in the Death Dread to the list, and I also spent my 2 requisition points to put him in the teleporter. So, how did the game go, I hear you ask? Well, you're going to have to wait for that one, but what I can tell you is that I used the same game plan that I had for the other 2 games. Yep, you guessed it. I bashed early and I bashed often. See ya. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can show your appreciation by liking, sharing and subscribing. Also, please don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can catch all my latest videos. Due to the global Nurgle related circumstances, I'm currently doing this full time. I would really appreciate it if you could show your support by becoming a Patreon member. For as little as $3 US, you can help me with my hobby and filming equipment. If you feel you can't commit long term, then you can always buy me a coffee. The links will be below in the description.